Good morning, dear student. In today's lecture, we will discuss uh, the important chapter of our course CHG 190, Chemical Biology, that is the lipids. So, in previous lecture, we already discussed lots of about amino acids and proteins. So, in this today's lecture, we are very much interested in the lipids. So, in this chapter we discuss first the classification of lipids, and then the properties, and then different values. Okay, so let's discuss the lipids. Before discussing the classification, let us discuss the definition of these lipids. So what is this lipids? Lipids may be defined as any class of organic compound that are fatty acids or their derivatives. They are generally insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvent. So you should remain remember the definition of this lipids, that is any class of organic compound of organic compound any class of organic compound that are fatty acid that are fatty acids or their derivatives or their derivatives or their derivatives, uh, and which are generally insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. So they are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvent such as alcohol, ether, etc. So what is lipids? Lipids is nothing but any class of organic compound that are fatty acids or their derivatives. They are generally insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvent. Another definition of these lipids may be defined as or may be regarded as an organic substances relatively insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvent, actually or potentially related to the fatty acids and utilized by the living cells. So they are related to the fatty acids. So lipids is nothing but the fatty acids. You should remember any class of organic compound that are fatty acids that contain fatty acids or their derivatives, they are considered as a lipids. They are soluble in organic solvent while insoluble in water. Again, unlike the polysaccharides, proteins and nucleic acid, unlike the polysaccharides, proteins and nucleic acids, the lipids are not polymer. So this is the important difference between these polysaccharide, proteins, nucleic acid and lipids. So these lipids are not polymer. Lipids are not a polymer. So this is the difference, because these lipids are a small molecule. It is not a macro this is not a micromolecules. So it is a small molecule. They are not considered as a polymers. So you should remember that the polysaccharides, proteins, nucleic acids are polymers while lipids are not considered as a polymers. Again, these lipids are broadly classified into different types, such as simple lipids, complex lipids, derived lipids, and miscellaneous lipids. So let's discuss these types. So you should remember these lipids are classified into four types. First, that is simple lipids. Second, that is complex lipids, complex. Third, that is derive, and the fourth one, that is miscellaneous lipids, MISELL, miscellaneous lipids, miscellaneous lipids. So at least you should know the definition, their properties. The properties we discuss in next lecture, but at least you should know they are insoluble in water while soluble in organic solvent. They are not considered as a polymer, and there are different types such as simple, complex, derived, and miscellaneous. So let us discuss one by one. That is the first one, that is simple lipids. First one, that is your simple lipids. Simple lipids. These simple lipids are the ester of fatty acids with alcohols. So you should remember that these simple lipids, these are the ester of fatty acids, ester of fatty acids with alcohol, esters of fatty acids with alcohol, ester of fatty acids with alcohol. These simple lipids again classified into two types. They are classified into two types. So these simple lipids are classified into two types. First, that is fats or oils. It is fats or oil. So this is the first type. And the second one, that is the waxes. So fats or oils, and second, that is waxes. So these simple lipids are nothing but the ester of fatty acids with alcohols. They are classified into two types, fats or oils, and second is waxes. So let us discuss the first one, that is fats or oils. So the difference between fats and oils is only the physical. At room temperature, the fat becomes solid while the oils becomes liquid. So these fats or oils, they are considered as a triacylglycerol. Triacylglycerol. They are considered as a triacylglycerol. These are the ester of fatty acids with glycerol. So what is this fats or oils? So these are ester of fatty acid with glycerol. These are the ester of fatty acid with glycerol. The difference between fats and oil is only physical, because the oil is liquid while fat is solid at room temperature. So if you consider the reaction for this simple lipids, or for the formation of fats and oils, so let us discuss. This is your glycerol, CH2, OH is there, again this is OH is there, again CH, OH is there. So it is triglycerol. It contains 3 carbon, CH2OH, CHOH, and CH2OH. It will react with 3 molecule. So this is your glycerol. It will react with 3 molecules of fatty acids. So fatty acids, so generally they are long chain of hydrocarbon, and finally containing the acidic group, that is HOC double bond O R dash group is there. Again another molecule is there, OH C double bond O R double dash is there. Again HOC double bond O R triple dash is there. So 3 molecules of fatty acids. So these are the three molecules of fatty acids react with one molecule of glycerol, and we get the esters of fatty acids with elimination of one water molecule for each fatty acids. So there is a total three water molecule is lost, and we get here CH, here O, C double bond O, R dash. Again, this carbon having hydrogen, oxygen, C double bond O, R double dash, and this carbon having two hydrogen, and this having O, C double bond O, R triple dash. So this is nothing but the ester of fatty acids, esters of fatty acids and glycerol. Esters of fatty acids with glycerol, they are considered as a simple lipids. So these are the fats or oils. Again, if you consider the waxes, so what is the difference between these fats and waxes, or oils and waxes? The waxes are also the esters of fatty acids. So let us discuss the second one, that is the waxes. These waxes, this is also the type of simple lipids, but these are the esters of fatty acids. Esters of fatty acids. Esters of fatty acids, usually the long chain fatty acid. Usually the long chain fatty acid. Long chain fatty acids. So these are the esters of fatty acids with alcohol other than glycerol. So these are the esters of fatty acids with alcohol other than glycerol. Other than glycerol, they are considered as waxes. So these alcohols may be aliphatic or alicyclic. Generally, the cetyl alcohol is most commonly used. Cetyl alcohol is most commonly used in these waxes, or most commonly found in the waxes. So this is regarding to the simple lipids. So you should remember the simple lipids are nothing but the esters of fatty acids with alcohol. They are again classified into two types: fats and waxes. The fats are nothing but the esters of fatty acid with glycerol, while the waxes are the esters of fatty acids with alcohol other than the glycerol. uh, Generally the acetyl alcohol is there. So let us discuss the second type, that is the complex lipids. Complex lipids. The complex lipids, also called as compound lipids. So these are the esters of fatty acids with alcohol containing additional groups such as phosphate, nitrogen bases, carbohydrates, and proteins. So you should remember the complex lipids are the ester of fatty acids, esters of fatty acids with alcohol, esters of fatty acids with alcohol containing additional group group containing additional group such as phosphate, then a nitrogen bases, generally the pyrimidines and purines. Nitrogen bases generally found in the nucleic acid. Nitrogen bases, carbohydrates and proteins. So along with fatty acids and alcohol, there is additional functional group such as phosphate residue is there, a nitrogen basis is there, purines and pyrimidine is there, carbohydrates is there, and protein is there. And then they are considered as a complex lipids. These complex lipids are again classified into different types. One is phospholipids. Phospholipids. One is phospholipids. Second is glycolipids. Second is glycolipids. Third, the lipoprotein. Lipoprotein. And the fourth one, that is the complex protein, is also there. So these complex lipids again classified into phospholipids, glycolipids, and lipoprotein. These phospholipids means they contain phosphoric acid and frequently the nitrogen bases. So along with fatty acids and alcohols, they contain the phosphoric acid and nitrogen bases. So they contain phosphoric acids and nitrogen bases. So we'll discuss. So let's discuss the first one, that is phospholipids. Phospholipids. So they contain phosphoric acid residue plus nitrogen bases. They are considered as phospholipids. Again, these phospholipids are classified into two types, that is glycerophospholipids and sphingophospholipids. They are again classified into two types. One is glycerophospholipids, and second one is the sphingophospholipids. Glycerophospholipids and sphingophospholipids. Glycero means the lipids contain glycerol as an alcohol. The lipids contain glycerol as an alcohol. And in sphingophospholipids, the sphingosine is the alcohol. Sphingosine is alcohol. So you should remember the phospholipids containing phosphoric acid and nitrogen bases. They are again classified into two types. One is glycerophospholipids and second is sphingophospholipids. The glycerol contain the glycerol as an alcohol, and the sphingophospholipids contain sphingosine as an alcohol. Again, the second one, that is the glycolipids. So these are the types of complex lipids. The glycolipids, the lipids having fatty acids, carbohydrates, and nitrogen bases. The lipids having fatty acids plus carbohydrates. The lipids having fatty acids, carbohydrates plus nitrogen bases. They are considered as glycolipids. The next one, that is lipoprotein. Lipoprotein is also there. Lipoprotein is nothing but the micromolecular complex of lipids with protein. Micromolecular complexes of lipids with protein. Macromolecular complexes of lipids with proteins. And the last one is other complex protein. So we are not goes into very much details into this type, other complex protein. So this is regarding to the complex lipids. So these are the esters of fatty acids with alcohol containing additional groups such as phosphoric acid, phosphate group is there, nitrogen bases is there, carbohydrates, and protein is there. Again, they are classified into four types: phospholipids, glycolipids, lipoproteins, and and the complex protein is there. Phospholipids containing the phosphoric acid residue and the nitrogen bases. Glycolipids containing fatty acids, carbohydrates and nitrogen bases. And the lipoproteins, these are the nothing but the micromolecules, microcomplexes, microcomplexes of lipids with proteins. So this is regarding to the second types of lipids. Let us discuss the third types of the lipids, that is derived lipids. Derived lipids. Derived lipids. So these are the derivatives obtained on the hydrolysis of group first and group second lipids, which possesses the characteristics of lipids. So what is this derived lipids? They obtain by hydrolysis of group first and group second, means the simple lipids and complex lipids. They are obtained by hydrolysis of group first and group second lipids, which possesses the characteristics of lipids. These includes glycerols and other alcohols, fatty acids, mono and diacetyl glycerols, then soluble vitamins, steroids, hormones, hydrocarbons, and ketone bodies. So they includes fatty acids, glycerol is there, fatty acids, glycerol, soluble vitamins, then steroids, then hydrocarbons and ketone bodies. So these are considered as the derived lipids. And the last one, that is miscellaneous lipids. So these miscellaneous lipids, they include a large number of compound having the characteristics of lipids. The example is carotenoids, and then hydrocarbons such as pentocosane and terpenes. So let's discuss the last one, that is miscellaneous lipids. So they include large number of compound having characteristics of lipids, such as carotenoids and terpenes. So this is all about the classification of lipids. In the next lecture, we are very much interested in the properties of the lipids. We'll discuss the physical and chemical properties of the lipids. Thank you.